Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with two new DAX functions that are lookup value and then select columns. We will be watching both these functionalities into this video, so let's get started with the video. First one is lookup value, which is most commonly used function into Excel or PowerBI, which we will be watching the functionality here. And another one, it doesn't belong to this lookup value, but since it is easy to understand in the way the select column, so I've taken out this particular DAX function to make you understand that how it works. First, I will deal up with this lookup value. In this lookup value, let me explain that how it works in reality. After that, we will be watching practically that how we can apply it in PowerBI. Here, lookup value is nothing but suppose if you are having a fact table into your data set. That means in data view, you are having one table only, that is fact table. And just assume that here when you scroll to right, here you are having customer ID and then customer name, both of the columns in front of you. And these two columns, customer ID and customer name, when will be pulled out to some other table, and this customer name will be deleted from this particular table, and somebody asks you that just to map that customer name again to this table, is it possible? And if it is possible, then how it can be done? So it can be done with one of the option, that is lookup value. So you will look up that this table on the basis of customer ID to that particular newly created table which is having customer ID and customer name into it. You will look up on the basis of customer ID the value of customer name to this particular table. It will be formed with having table into which customer name will be present. What I am trying to explain, let me do it and then show you that how we can just go through it. So we are having customer name and customer ID in front of us, and suppose if you want to have select column, you can either go with this option of, suppose in home ribbon you are having transform data, which will take you to the Power Query editor window. In this particular window, you will create a table with having only customer ID and customer name into it. So what I will do, I will just duplicate this one. I will rename this one as customer table. Now this customer table, we are having customer ID and customer name. We will keep these both and remove others. Now we are having in this particular table only customer ID and customer name. We'll close and apply, so that we should be having another table into our data view, that is customer, which we have created right now. Just let the load complete. I will show you. Yes, you can see that now you are having two tables in front of you. One is customer, another one is fact. Now the scenario is, suppose I am deleting this customer name from this fact table. This is right now you are seeing that is fact table. In this table, if I am deleting this customer name and let the customer ID be there as it is, and if you are having customer name into separate table, that is customer, in this table you are having two columns, customer ID and customer name, the same customer IDs which is present in fact table, but the customer name, the scenario we are having that we will delete the customer name from here, and then your problem statement is that you have to map the customer name on the basis of customer ID in this fact table. That particular scenario can be handled by this lookup value. To create this customer table, we were having one option to use Power Query editor window. Another option we can choose is of this one, select columns. Since we need to select two columns from some particular table and want to create a new table, We can have select columns as well, but what the nuances we'll face, we'll watch that as well into this particular practical video. So here what we will do, we will just go to new table, click on it. Let me show you the another way to create that customer table by having DAX function, that is select columns. So we will rename it as table underscore customer. Fine. Now customer, we will having select columns. Now the select column expects three arguments basically. Those three arguments relate to, suppose, table, from which table you want to select column. So the table is fact table. From this you want to select that columns. Another one is that name, which is, suppose you want to provide a new name to that particular column, you can provide it here. Like I will just take a new line. In this you can provide a new name like customer ID. Fine. Name of that column, it will be renamed as customer ID, and then expression is nothing but the column you want to pick it up, so that is customer ID. Fine. So customer ID will come from fact table. Again, second column we want to pick up, that is customer name. Now this customer name will be again be picked up from fact table only. So here it is, and as soon as we wrap up the bracket, click on enter, it will create a table in front of us with having two columns into it, named as customer ID and customer name, which is same as we have created with Power Query Editor window. But the difference between both of them is the scenario which we talked about, that we want to just delete this customer name first, and we have the problem statement problem statement that we want this customer name column again back to this particular fact table. How is it possible? It is only possible with one of the way, that is of uh, lookup value. So when you will navigate now to the table customer, which is created by DAX function, you can see that column customer name in table fact cannot be found or may not be used in this expression. So since it was dependent on that particular fact table, from there it was referring the customer ID and customer name. So customer ID is still present, but it is complaining you about customer name, since it was referring to fact table only for fetching up the customer name. So this way we can't create another table if we want to use that one again. So this is what I wanted to explain for this select column, and you here understood that how select column we can use, how to apply the DAX function of select column into any data set, and what is the difference that we are getting by creating this select table with select column and the Power Query Editor. In Power Query Editor, when we created, we are having a static column in front of us. It's not dependent on fact table. It is absolutely in itself a standing alone table. So here we are having customer ID and customer name both. In fact table, we are not having customer ID and customer name. Sorry, customer ID is there, but customer name is the problem statement that we need to fetch the customer name from the customer table on the basis of lookup value, on the basis of our lookup value DAX function. For that, what we will do in this fact table, we'll click on new column. Since we want a new column of customer name, so we'll click on new column, which will be a calculated column. If you are not aware of calculated column and measure, just check out that video as well. Here we will rename it as column underscore customer name. Now this customer name can be fetched by lookup value. Lookup value is expecting basically three parameters into it. First one is result column. Which column you want from the customer table? So that is customer name. Fine. Customer name you want to fetch from the table customer. Table customer, not, it's the customer name. So this is the customer table from which we want customer name, comma, search column name 1. Search column name 1 is this one. From fact table, you want to pick up the customer ID, sorry, customer name. You are having customer name and then customer ID, correct? So search column name 1 will be customer ID. Based on customer ID only, you want to search in the customer table, and the another column in which is present in customer and which you want to look up. That means on the basis of customer ID you want to fetch the customer name. So customer ID, both customer IDs will be that means both of the column will be provided as the argument in lookup value. First one is already provided, that is from customer table, and now we will provide again customer ID, that will be from fact table. So just observe it carefully that we are providing three parameters to it. First one, the one which we want to pick, the value which we want. Another one, basis of which we want to pick up the value, and another this particular one also, basis of which we want to pick up the value. Now as soon as we click on enter, it will create a column with having customer name into it, basis of customer ID. If you will cross check the things, you will get same as it was initially. So hope this is clear to you guys, and if any confusion, let me know into the comment section. Thank you so much for watching the videos. If you found the video helpful, kindly like to the video, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video with some other DAX functions.